everyone, guys. Why are we not online? All right, guys, this is take two. We seem to be having some issues here over on HWR. Guys, can you see if the computer if it's online? Because I'm still coming off as offline.
Yeah, hang on, let me check.
Oh, here we go. Sorry, guys. It was a bit of technical difficulties. Guys, we're still working out some of the tweaks of the show. But then again, after watching tonight's Raw, it kind of sucked.
Not kinda, it sucked.
Yeah. And we have the hardcore crew here with us. Here we go. Sorry, guys. And first, he is the son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Well, I'm doing better than Raw was tonight.
Yeah, Raw absolutely sucked, guys. So tonight's going to be more of a Raw rant than a Raw reaction. And then, of course, we have the incomparable Lance Moss over at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. Lance, what's up?
Other than the ending, that was a shit show.
I think even the ending was kind of predictable because, you know...
But at least they did it quite well. The rest... Shit. More shit than in a sewage, than in a water treatment plant.
Yeah, well, let's open up real quick. Let's just run down the matches. We don't have to cover all of them, but it started opening with the Wyatts coming down and pretty much bragging how they won, and they told everybody. First, Reigns comes down and pretty much wants to fight Wyatt, just Wyatt in a match, and it's really a street fight. There's no referee, no nothing. And Reigns is just beating the hell out of Wyatt. Of course, this is where Braun Strowman and Luke Harper come in. Then we see Dean Ambrose come running into the match, and it's now 2-on-3, but they're still having an upscale fight, an uphill battle. And then who comes out? The man that should have been on Night of Champions last night, Randy Orton, but of course no. And it was still just a fight. It wasn't really a match. We didn't see a match later on. And then we have one of 3 rematches. First, it was Lucha Dragons and Neville versus Cosmic Wasteland. Cosmic Wasteland being Stardust and the Ascension. And basically, it was the exact same thing that happened last night. Excuse me. Last night, the Cosmic Wasteland got the win. And now tonight, the Lucha Dragons got the win. Moving on. This wasn't a rematch, but it wasn't really a great match. It was a squash match, guys. Ryback defeating Bo Dallas. Was there any real point to this match?
Filler?
No.
Yeah, it was just a big filler. The match just completely sucked. One of the interesting parts of Raw, which I think everybody in the world predicted, was Paige turns heel just as Charlotte was getting her inaugural celebration, or they were calling it the Charlotte celebration. And again, it was so obvious. Even when they were walking down, Paige was walking ahead of them. When they were celebrating, she was kind of standing away from them. And we even knew this was coming. We thought it was coming at Night of Champions, but it happened after she won the title, which was justly deserved. And Paige didn't just really come down on her. She came down on all the divas. She came down on her friend Becky Lynch, saying she'll never become a champion. She came down on Eva Marie, and then later on Natalya, guys. So, was this the right move for a Paige to turn heel?
Yes.
Andy,
for one reason, she cannot put a face promo to save her life. This is how they need to keep Paige. Kind of pissed off and doing what she does.
Yeah. Well, right after that, who comes down but the Bellas? And the Bellas are just, saying, Nikki Bella, of course, is bragging, saying, I'm going to get my title back, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to have another match where Charlotte faces Brie. Now, throughout the whole match, her leg gets beat down, beat down, beat down, beat down. She's limping, but yet she's able to execute the figure eight for the win. Andy, does that make any sense to you at all?
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
None. Not a thing.
And, don't get me wrong. I'll give Charlotte some credit. She was trying to sell the injury as much as she could, but the problem is that they're giving her this finisher that requires both legs and the strength of her legs, and it just kind of kills the sell, if you ask me. We then had another rematch, which was the New Day and I call it two out of two rematches, which was New Day and Rusev against 3D and Ziggler, and eventually New Day and Rusev gets the win. Rusev was screaming, "Lana is mine, Lana is mine," and he eventually takes out Ziggler. Do we see things kind of starting to come back, go back around where Lana's going to go back to Rusev as we predicted the other night?
Eventually.
Yeah. Moving on, we saw Big Show. He took out Cesaro, which I thought was more of a squash match, guys.
Yeah.
The whole match, they were promoting Big Show and Brock Lesnar, who are going to be facing each other at Madison Square Garden in a couple of weeks. And you knew what was coming. The commentators were talking about it throughout the entire match. Cesaro gets a win, gets a loss with the KO punch, and then after that, Big Show has to promote the match again. It's like, how fucking obvious do you have to make this? The whole show has just been like this predictable. It was just a shit show, and I'm sure there are people listening to this afterwards who are like, "Oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. It's wrong." No, I'm sorry. I'm not just a WWE fan. I am a wrestling fan, and I enjoy wrestling. And when I see shit like this happens, I'm not gonna sit there and mark out just because I'm a fan. That's just my thoughts. Andy, your thoughts?
Yeah, we always say after most pay-per-views, most of the Monday Night Raws normally suck a bit, but trust me, if you've not seen this Monday Night Raw, don't even bother. Just erase it off your DVR if you've recorded it. It's not even worth your time.
Yeah, and then, of course, we had our main event, which was Seth Rollins for John Cena for the U.S. title. And again, this is another rematch, the third of three. It just felt like Night of Champions is Raw. It was just, what was the point of even having the network? What's the point of watching the pay-per-view when they're just doing rematches? Cena, pretty much, he gets hit with a frog splash. It doesn't even sell it. He comes right back and hits the AA. All right, fine, whatever. After the match, we saw Kane. Oh, by the way, who was the Happy Kane? He kind of has like a Jekyll and Hyde gimmick now, where he pretty much just says, "Hey, even though you're the world champion, there's gonna be so many people that's gonna be targeting you, people that you don't know about." And then what happens? The Masked Kane, or as I'm calling the Hyde Kane, and it's pretty much he pops up through the ring and pulls Seth Rollins back down to hell. Guys, I don't even know what else or how much more to bitch about this show, because this show was just, I was happy that it was over. It was like a break that it was over. We usually call certain matches and segments a piss break. This whole show, 3 hours, was a shit break. And it's a shame, but that's just how it is, guys.
Yeah.
Shit shower and wank break, I think.
Yeah. I'd rather go off and wank off than watch the show.
Yeah.
If it was gonna be that, I wouldn't have bothered.
The best part
exactly.
about the show tonight.
She could have gone and had sex, but no, I decided to watch Raw. Gee, I'm starting to regret that.
Yeah, the best part about tonight's show was Paige's push-up bra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
That probably was the only.
And the WWE teased us. That's why we sat there and watched it to the end. The WWE teased us that Sting is going to make a big announcement. Yeah, he's at home, in bed.
Where we should have been.
That's right. And that's one thing that they did promote, and it never even happened. I don't know if that was a rumor or if that was confirmed on WWE.com, so guys, hold me on that. I don't want to hold on that one, because we've heard a lot of times.
No, it's confirmed on the WWE website that he was actually going to come and make a career
it was confirmed.
Announced statement. And where was it? Yeah, we appreciate Sting's injured, but even TMZ gave him the benefit of the doubt and said, well, he might have done a pre-recorded thing.
And it still didn't happen. It's just...
Not a sausage. Typical WWE. If they weren't going to have him on the show, at least let us know how he is, instead of having to go on websites and find out for ourselves.
And that's another
At least
thing.
give the man a bit of respect and say he's seriously injured his neck and he's going to be out for a while. Just give us that bit of respect.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, and we talked about this the other night, that Sting has not really gotten a lot of respect since coming in the WWE. A lot of fans don't.
Rodney Dangerfield got more respect than Sting has.
Yeah, exactly. And the sad thing, but right now, I've said it before and I'll say it again, he's just here for the paycheck. And you know what? I hope he's getting a very big paycheck, especially now that he's going to be in the video games, some DVDs, and eventually rightfully inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Because you know what? He is a legend. And the fact that, he came over to the WWE probably was just for that purpose, just to get into the Hall of Fame. And he will be the only two-time Hall of Famer. He'll be, they always say Ric Flair is, but so isn't Sting, because he was also inducted in the TNA Hall of Fame. So,
and as I suggested earlier, listen out for this one, guys. Remember where you heard it first. Sting is officially going for the Undertaker's streak in reverse, because at the moment he's 0-2.
Yeah. Well, you know what, guys? We're going to wrap this up because this is painful. So, we want to know your thoughts. Do you agree with us? Was this a shitty Raw or was it a great Raw? We want to hear them regardless. We don't care either way. This is just our thoughts. So please put your comments in the comments section below. Take the time out and subscribe to us over at HWR Show. And also, you can follow us over at our Facebook pages. We got two of them. That's Facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And we also have Facebook.com/HWR Chat Room. Right now, we have the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, where can we find you and what do you got going on?
Well, here in about 2 minutes, you're going to find me in my bed, but you can get me at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, Redneck Omega videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants. Every Wednesday, I go live at with Lance Moss TV and friends. I never know who's going to show up, but follow me on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV, and don't forget to subscribe.
Absolutely. And then he is the son of a bitch, Andy. He's my sidekick and partner. And you know what? He's also a ghost hunter. Andy, what do you got coming up, and where can everybody find you?
Well, I'm a bit gobsmacked. I'll do a little screen capture for the guys, which they can have a laugh on. I don't know whether the chat room's been hacked or what the hell's going on, but yes, you can catch me at www.stokehaunted.com, and I don't know who the Chinese girl is on the HWR team, but she looks very young.
Is she on the team?
Yeah, if you just
get somebody in there, Britt, get somebody in there.
If you get somebody on there, there's nobody actually on the page. The page looks like it's being hacked to me because I'm not sure what I can actually see on the page.
Well, we're going to check that out in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise anybody typing in the chat room at the moment. HWR chat, because you'll get that.
All right, well, I'm going to check that out.
And you can see it's typed in fully correct HWR chat room, and that's what you get. Cookie Siriaki.
Well, okay. For right now, though, I want to wrap this show up, and everybody, tomorrow night we will have our show In the Moment, where we're going to talk about several topics. We're going to talk about who the top wrestlers should be in the WWE, and we're also going to talk about people who came up from the NXT but didn't make it, and it's several other topics. So until next time, I am your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.